So we're going to use our calculator to approximate sine, cosine, and tangent values. So this is not just writing the ratio for it like we did in the previous video, but in this video we're actually going to figure out the decimal that goes with that ratio. Because eventually we're going to be able to go backwards from that decimal answer to find the angle measure when that's missing. So if you're using Alex or Desmos calculator, you want to click on sine, cosine, or tangent, and then enter the angle measure and click enter. If you're using a smartphone calculator, generally you're going to enter the angle measure first and then click sine, cosine, or tangent. And usually the phone's going to need to be sideways in order to see these buttons, and then you can click enter. Some phones require you to click enter, and some will just calculate it without you clicking enter or equal. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So if I have the cosine of 85, I'm going to type in 85, and then I'm going to click the cosine button. And that's going to give me a decimal of 0.09. And I rounded to the nearest hundredth, so I did have to round this number. So now I would do the same thing for the tangent of 34. I would type in 34, and I'd click the tangent button. You get 0.67. And then I would type in 57 and click sine. You get 0.84. I do want to point out one thing on your calculator. You need to make sure that it is in degree mode. So I should see RAD. If I see DEG, that means that it's in radical mode. It's not in degree mode, and it actually won't give you the proper decimals. So just make sure that it is in degree mode. And basically on the phone, it's if I don't see DEG for degree, then it means it's in the correct mode. So just be aware of that. It could very well be in the wrong mode. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at that on a triangle so we can see this. So we're going to find x, round your answer to the nearest tenth of a degree. So now we're actually going to find the angle measure. I have two side lengths. So which trigonometric function can be used? So we're going opposite and hypotenuse. So that's sine, right? If I think of SOHCAHTOA, SOH. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So we're going to use sine. Okay, so we're going to use opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite is 19, hypotenuse is 25. If you can reduce this, that's fine. You don't need to worry about reducing because you're going to type it into a calculator and find a decimal. So you don't necessarily need to worry about reducing a fraction. So now we're going to enter this into our calculator, 19 divided by 25. So we get 0.76. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hit this second button. And what that's going to do, for some reason it won't let me take a picture of this accurately, but I've kind of inserted these so you can see it. You'll see instead of just sine, cosine, and tangent, you'll see sine to the -1, cosine to the -1, tangent to the -1. It's kind of like, it's the inverse of these functions. So what it's going to do is it's going to take this decimal and it's going to tell me what degree would need to go with that for that function. So if I hit the inverse of sine, it's going to show me this nice long number, and I'm going to round because it wants me to round to the nearest tenth of a degree. So I'm going to round to 49.5 degrees. So you can see this is what it looks like on Alex. And you don't even have to click any buttons for this one because you see sine, cosine, tangent. It automatically gives you your inverse functions right above. So this is how you use your calculator to find a missing angle length using the trigonometric functions. I hope that helped, and I'll see you in the next video.